Alright, so this guy we haven't seen in a while. Enter Chandler Riggs, who a lot of people know from The Walking Dead, where he was a major character on the show and was seen as this really rising child and teen star, but since The Walking Dead, he's really not appeared in anything, and I'm just wondering what the hell ruined his career. Chandler Riggs, who played Carl in The Walking Dead, we really got to see him grow up, where he was 11 years old in the first season, and in the final season he was in, he was 17 years old, and also his bank account grew, where he was originally getting paid $8,500 an episode, but cut to season 8, he's making $100,000 an episode. Then in season 8, The Walking Dead did the biggest shock kill ever and decided to end his character. It was really shocking for a lot of people because in the comics, not only does he live, but he grows up to become an adult. Originally, it was reported that Chandler Riggs was the one who asked the producers to have his character killed off because he wanted to go to college and live a normal life, but that turned out not to be true. The real reason had a lot to do with money or lack of money because in season 5 the show was the biggest show on TV with 17 million viewers an episode, but cut to season 8 and ratings collapsed at 7 million viewers an episode. It was just going down from there. At the same time, the cost of the show just kept on going up, where Andrew Lincoln was making $650,000 an episode at the time, and Norman Reedus was $550,000 an episode, so just these two guys alone are $1.2 million an episode. Really, the network viewed getting rid of Chandler Riggs and Carl as a budget cut to save $100,000 an episode, and then at the same time, they never really saw Carl as a very important or likable character like Norman Reedus was playing Daryl, and then also at the same time, taking away from the comics shows the show still has some twist, and they weren't just following the comics word for word. Still, everyone thought Chandler Riggs was going to have this big career after The Walking Dead. He does 8 seasons on the biggest show in the world. He was a fairly likable character for the most part, so a lot of people thought he'd succeed, but yeah, he really hasn't. It wasn't from a lack of trying, where before he was even killed off The Walking Dead or that entered discussions, he was actually auditioned to play Spider-Man in the Marvel Universe, but he ultimately lost that part to Tom Holland, and actually hearing that, those two actors do actually look a lot alike. Yeah, I guess Disney's not a huge fan of Chandler Riggs because he also auditioned for the role of Han Solo when he knew his character was going to be killed off Walking Dead, but he got rejected for that part as well. If you look at his career since Walking Dead, it's pretty damn bare, where he did one indie movie that he was the main character of that failed, and then the rest of the career since Walking Dead has gone nowhere on TV or in movies. What's really sad is actually the biggest thing that he's gotten outside of The Walking Dead was doing a Spider-Man fan film, which got 7 million views on YouTube, but that's just a fan film that didn't actually pay him any money. Really looking why his career's not taken off, I think there's a few issues, and I think one of them is actually his height. He's 5'7", and he suffers from a curse a lot of male child actors have because most male child actors are short. The reason that happens is because with child actors, they normally want a 12-year-old playing an 8-year-old because it's easier to work with a 12-year-old. So because of that, they tend to hire these younger child actors, and that's why actors like Daniel Radcliffe are 5'5", Macaulay Culkin's 5'7", Elijah Wood's 5'6", and yeah, these child actors just tend to get a lot of success because they're short. And then I also think there's the factor of when he left The Walking Dead. When Stephen Young was killed off, it was this big thing. Everyone was speculating, is Glenn going to die? And it was one of the biggest rating events in TV history, and people wanted more, and that's why people are still hiring Stephen Young. Chandler Riggs left the show when the ratings absolutely collapsed, so he didn't leave people wanting more, which is definitely a factor for why I don't think he's hired. But with that, I'm Charles Pearl. Subscribe to learn something.